the Olympics. Every athlete wishes to go to the biggest game of the year, and for archery, it's the Olympics. Today, I'd like to talk to you about Olympic archery. I've been in several tournaments myself where the format is very similar to the Olympics. The only difference is that there's less countries and there's no trials required for it. I'm sure all of you have watched the Olympics at some point in your life, but archery is one that's not most televised, or it's a reasonable hour in the day. So hopefully after today, it'll pique your interest into wanting to watch it, or that you'll understand it when you do watch it. I'd like to share with you how one could qualify for the Olympics, what is not televised, and what the format of the matches are. This is Brady Ellison and Katuna Lork. Katuna is a 5-time Olympian for Georgia, Romania, Ukraine, and the United States 2 times. Brady is our #1. He's #1 ranked in the world currently. We just had World Cup. First off is how an archer would qualify for the Olympic trial. An Olympic team consists of 3 men and 3 women, and they all have to achieve a score of 1230 out of a possible 1440, and that's only 144 arrows, 1 arrow being a maximum of 10 points. And FIDA, which is our organization, International Archery Federation in English, and then Federation Internationale d'Art in French. And so the women distances are marked off in red as 70, 60, 50, 30. Men's distances are marked off in blue, 90, 70, 50, 30. So on each 4 distances, you have to shoot 36 arrows. This is my own scorecard from a tournament I went to a couple weeks ago. I only got 1232, so technically I could qualify for the Olympics, but not enough. And then after the teams after an archer achieves the qualifying score, they go to the Olympic trial selection shoot, which is several different tournaments. And after the first one, everyone is allowed to go, but from there, only top 16 can continue to the next. From there, top 8, and from the last one, only the top 3, which make up our Olympic team. All the archers, when they get to the Olympic Games, have to be ranked from 1 to however many there are. And to do that, they have to do it again, shoot 144 arrows, and they are placed. There's a cutoff at only 64. So I'm sure some of you guys have seen this in other sports. So the top seed, #1, goes up against number 64, and so on and so forth to the gold medal matches. I have one that's a little bit closer, not as tight. These are only out of 16 shooters. And after the archers are placed in the brackets, they have to shoot head-to-head. So in the images before, #1 shoots against number 64 in alternating arrows. And it's always based on the value of the arrow. So it's a little bit difficult because you could be, the distance or the difference between you and your opponent could be 10 points, a couple points, or you could be tied, which makes it a little bit nerve-wracking. So this is an example of a score sheet. I just zoomed up in it. So here's the score. He just writes it down. Him and his opponent has faced off, and he has lost his match. Today I've opened up to World Olympic Archery, how a shooter can qualify for the Olympics, what is televised and what is not televised, and what the format of the matches are. I hope this information has piqued your interest, and hopefully you'll be a future viewer of this sport. Thank you.
All right, Derek, what did you think?
Our thesis was pretty much clear. She kind of paused a lot and said so she was nervous kind of. So she can probably avoid that. And she can also just like try to get the audience to like attention probably a little better using different methods. So that's pretty much it.
All right, Barbie, you had a lot of time, and I think that, you have a lot of time left. It was 4:38, and so it's pretty easy to pick out a couple of things to talk about. You have basically given us the fast version of the speech without the explanations and details. It's sort of like you've gone through the outline for us. If you had a 3-minute, if you had a 4-minute preview, this would be the 4-minute preview. Now what we need to do is we need to get some stories here. We need some explanation. We need some clarity that's going on. You showed us 3 score sheets without explaining how any of the scoring is done. You've got the different ranges that you're showing that people have to shoot at, and I'm going, okay, well that makes sense that they shoot at the different ranges. Is the scoring different at the different ranges, for instance? I have no idea. It looks like the women shoot at 3 ranges, the men shoot at 4, so the scoring is not going to be consistent there. Do men and women compete in separate sections? That's one of those things that doesn't get explained. When you talked about the ranking system at the beginning, it sounds to me like what you're saying is everybody shoots their 144 arrows, and based on that scoring, that's how they're ranked going into the brackets. If they're not in the top 64, they don't qualify for the bracket part of the... I think I just said it more clearly than you did. And you need to explain that. So you could have 500 people show up, but they have to score in the top 64 in order to make it to the second round. Once they're in the second round, then it is just straight up versus the person that you're matched against on the scoring to advance. And the scoring is only relevant based on that particular person as opposed to everybody else. Well, that makes sense, and that's a little bit clearer. What you ought to do, for instance, you could tell us a story about how the first time you qualified, what position you were in, and whether or not you advanced after that octafinal kind of round, or did you get to quarterfinals or any of those kinds of things, and how many people did you go through, and what was the scoring like, and tell us a story about something unusual that's going on there to make it interesting, as opposed to, here's the kind of the flashcard version of the subject. I think you've got an interesting subject. You've got a good goal. There's a very good preview that you give us. You're doing okay organizing it, but you just are rushing through all these points without giving us any explanation. On the visuals, I think you've got some good ideas for visuals, but 3 of them went by so fast I barely have any idea about what it was supposed to be showing me, what I was supposed to get from it. That last one where you say, and he signed and he lost, and I'm going, okay, well, how do you know he lost? Where does it say that on there? There's no indication of that. How much did he lose by? How did his opponent score? I don't get any of that. And so it just seems to be underdeveloped here. You've got the right idea, but there's no meat on the bones, so to speak. And so you need to add some to it. All right. Thank you.